So apparently, car engines break down the same as CPUs. That's what the influencers are saying. So if that's the case, why isn't anybody's older computers and CPUs and servers all of a sudden breaking down? I think it's all wrong.
Best practices right now might honestly be don't leave your computers on when you're not around. Don't leave them on sitting at your desktop. Don't leave them on sitting in your BIOS. Just...
Stop. Hold the door. Apparently we have a time limit now. This is like a time crisis game where we're running out of time with our CPUs and they're going to blow up from degradation. This is one of the top influences, like honestly, like if this was the case, wouldn't you think a lot of CPUs that are like 10 years old, let's go Sandy Bridge 2600K, would just fall apart and turn back into sand? This is the craziest shit I've heard all year. Like, and you guys are watching it and you guys are taking it in. But we'll see where it goes. This is an interesting one, so let's see where she goes.
Now know that there's a timer on many of these CPUs, and any time that your system's on when you're not there is just clicking away life. It's like that movie with Justin Timberlake where you had a time on your arm. And
it's actually nothing like that movie at all. Doesn't even work like that. If the volts are set too high, it's going to degrade and break itself at that frequency. So you have to give it more volts. It's not going to slowly degrade more and more and more as time goes on. Otherwise, how would a 2600K be able to run these days? That means all the old CPUs would be degraded and they're all useless. Are you hearing it from your friends or family or people talking about this? This is just the most stupidest shit I've ever heard. But we'll continue and see where it goes.
that was how long you had left to live. Imagine there's that on your CPU right now. And if you could turn off the system to save some of that time, you should probably do it.
I don't really know what's going on here, but if he actually thinks that, or it's like just comedy show, like entertainment. If it's entertainment, it's quite funny because I had quite a bit of laugh listening to this, especially editing back and forth. The more I hear it, the more the brain hurts. But I reckon we should let's have a look at frame chasers and see what he does and what is the protocol to do with the CPUs so they don't degrade and they don't fail, and see how he chops it up. Because that's how I sort of do it. I can't really show it because I haven't got a 14900K or 7800X3D or any of the 9000 series. We'll check out Frame Chasers, watch his video, he's really good, very informative, unbiased content. See what he has to say about it, then we'll come back and we'll give it a quick swing and see where the video goes. But so let's do it.
Pick your poison. These new platforms all seem like complete ass cheeks to me, but if I had to make a choice, disabling E-cores and locking the cores doesn't seem that bad.
Also, what would you say are the most interesting similarities and differences between the Raptor Lake situation and the Spectre MDS situation?
The Raptor Lake is far worse because you have a limit, because you actually now have a limited lifespan of that chip.
So once again, we have someone that knows what they're talking about and knows how to go about it. And then we have other people who think they know what they're talking about and how to go about it. In the end, it's up to you, but I think you know which way to go if you have, you know, a little bit up there. But you know how we do it here at Boss Overclock. Let's keep the show going and see what they have to say.
I see a lot of comments online saying, oh, every single 13th and 14th gen is broken. That's not true. Every single CPU in the market right now is degrading, but it's degrading at a expected rate. It's like an engine in a car. When your engine is brand new and it's got 5 miles on it, it's certainly gonna operate a little differently than that same engine 200,000 miles from now. And 200,000 miles is gonna have a little bit more rattly noise. It's gonna have a little bit more play. The cylinder walls are a little more worn in. Your piston rings are a little bit worn. You're gonna have a little bit of blow by, maybe some smoke, you know, but it's still running, right? It's not failed on you yet until something breaks. So This is not defensive intel. It's just I want to put this out there that when people are throwing around the word degradation, every CPU is degrading. But advanced degradation or an accelerated degradation rate is not okay, because that's what we're dealing with here.
You can't let the boost algorithm try to figure it out. You take both of these platforms and you take all this shit, and if you just compare it with 10900K and B-Die, it's like, man, how, what do they say? Each day we stray further from God. It's like, it's totally legit, man. What is all this? If you had a 10900K with some 4000 B-Die and you enable that shit, it just worked. Okay, hang on. Oh, sorry. Okay. SA voltage. That was the only problem with this platform. Is if you enabled XMP, it would show up like 1.6 system agent. It's like, man, it's like, how did we go from here to needing to run fucking command scripts? It's like, something's wrong, man. It's like, when are these manufacturers gonna learn that all people want is one type of core on a monolithic die? That's it. And shit just works. Do they really gotta do all this shit to just to like what, be 10% faster than a 10900K, right? Like the Intel fanboys are like, Intel said up to 1.55 volts is fine, so Jufus is just wrong about that one. It's like, all right, you go ahead and run your shit at 1.55.
This is personally why some of us have trust issues, because we have information and misinformation. We have fact and fiction. We can only take the facts from people if it's legit. That's why it's called a fact, because it's the truth. But while we're here, we're going to have a look at AMD's sneaky little move that they pulled, running as admin to pull higher scores. So we'll see what that's about, see what the boys at Linus said about that.
AMD has walked back some of its Ryzen 9000 performance claims after the new processors fell short in review benchmarks. A massive factor was AMD running all their testing in admin mode, which turns out is a big security yikers.
So you should be scared to take your toys out. Don't leave them running too long, and don't use them, and don't, just put it away and never touch it again. If it's old, it's going to break. If it's new, it's going to break. You're on a time limit, so make that time worthwhile. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.